Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. We are looking at number 23 in the Radiance range, A Moment of Romance, which was the directing debut of Benny Chen. And this one was such an absolute joy to discover. One of those movies that you just click with immediately, opening with a wonderful bike chase as we see our main character Wadi, played by Andy Lau, as he races through the streets with a kind of abandon. And then we see this group of people who are doing the most crazed things with cars, racing, battling against each other. There's a moment where they have women holding on to the top of these trucks as they kind of race against each other, and ultimately it only stops when one gets really injured. At which point everybody scatters, leaving the victim to be picked up by the emergency services, and everybody kind of goes their own way without a second thought of this. We're in a world where people's lives seem very disposable. Nothing seems to matter. We're following a group of people that just seem to be biding their time until their end comes. Wadi is part of a gang. We see his brother, who he has a great deal of respect for, and Trumpet, whom he does not. These two men do not go on at all. Trumpet just doesn't like Wadi, but Wadi has a certain amount of skill, particularly behind the wheel of any vehicle. And he is tasked with being a getaway driver on a jewellery heist. This sequence at the start of the movie is fantastic. It's exhilarating, it is kinetic, it's edge of the seat tension on this one, because as we watch our getaway driver waiting outside the jewellery heist place, police turn up just haphazardly, and the way he gets them away from there and still manages to do his job is fantastic. But because this is so exciting and so edge of the seat, it goes through a lot of hurdles. At one point he gets stuck and has to take a hostage, which is where he takes the young girl Jojo, and although the rest of the gang want to kill her, he just doesn't run his life like that. He wants to take her home, make her safe. The rest of the gang are a bit perturbed when they're all picked up and taken to a lineup, only to see the young girl still alive and well, but refusing to identify them. And this kind of kicks off a romance between Jojo and Wadi, as we see them kind of connect reluctantly. Wadi's a character who I really enjoyed, because he definitely has a chip in his shoulder and he doesn't want to drag anybody else down with him. He has a certain moral compass. As you see throughout the film several times, he's always making the right decision for someone, and amongst a lot of wrong decisions at the same time. He feels like a complicated character that I'm on this journey with, watching him struggle to deal with the loyalty to his brother, with his loyalty and to a stranger that he meets, looking to protect her as best he can. The complete disregard he has for lots of people, but this die-hard loyalty that he has for some, particularly Rambo, a low-level employee on the streets who just kind of washes cars, makes sure the meters are topped up for Yakuza members or gang members. It's just a sort of endearing character, which this movie's full of. Lots of characters that I kind of loved, and it shows you the harsh environment and lifestyle that a lot of these people have, and the reluctance to embrace anything more worthwhile because it's ultimately going to be taken away from them. It's more to lose and more to hurt them. But I loved the relationship between Wadi and Jojo. There's even a moment where you get a silly, very tropey romance montage, and it's something you've seen done lots of times before, and you understand the manipulation in the filmmaker of doing this, but it works. It works effectively well. It is silly. I get to see them riding bikes, a little aircraft flying, just generally having fun, and it's effective. It was something that I enjoyed watching as well. The violence in A Moment of Romance is shocking. Shocking in its nature because it's so familiar for some of the characters that we, the viewer, are shocked. Those in the world, it's just something that happens a lot. You know, these people live in dangerous worlds, in dangerous circumstances, and it shows through this film. A Moment of Romance was wonderful because it seemed to capture this element of life, this element of almost modern day Ronin, as they just struggle to stick to their path. They want a little bit more, or some people do. Our Wadi character, but he knows that his choices, the way he has lived his life, it may not work out for him, but there is that small sliver of light there in the form of Jojo, who just sees the good in this guy and wants to do the best for him. In fact, there's a heartbreaking moment later on, heartbreaking for me, where our character's drunk, Jojo's having to go away, she's come over and just fixed up his house for him, and because he's so inebriated, because he's so trying to chase her away, he destroys the place in front of her, and you kind of see her almost like crestfallen in this antic that's going on. It's one of those movies that, although it follows certain tropes, although it follows certain beats, it gives me characters that I loved spending time with. It gave me situations that were exciting, thrilling, heartbreaking. It gave me a romance at the heart of this one, which I really did enjoy. And even though it's called A Moment of Romance, there is a lot of action and exhilarating set pieces within it. It showed me a slice of the world that I may never experience, but I did thanks to this film. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one a hell of a lot. It's one of those movies that I urge you to check out because it was just fantastic. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at some of the extras. Here we are in the disc for A Moment of Romance. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have Benny Chan. This archival audio interview with Benny Chan was conducted in 2016 and it runs for 21 minutes 22 seconds. He's just kind of talking all about this production, how he was on it, how they were kind of working environment, how it was his first movie and the kind of challenges that he had making it. In Love and Danger, Hong Kong cinema through A Moment of Romance. A new visual essay by critic and Asian cinema expert David Desser on the genre tropes in Moment of Romance and their use in Hong Kong cinema. This is a new extra and it runs for 25 minutes 59 seconds. It's great, talking about the heroic bloodshed movement, how this kind of is precursor to it, movies that came after it. It's quite fascinating. The unfortunate thing with it is it leaves you with a huge list of films that I now want to check out after it. Then we have the audio commentary by Frank Zheng and the trailer, which runs 4 minutes 10 seconds. There is a booklet in this one as well, which is 28 pages in length. It's got two main essays in it, Beyond Romance, Andy Lau and Jacqueline Wu in the 90s. And it pretty much just follows their careers through that period of time, which is quite fascinating. The second essay, The Missing Auteur, A Moment of Romance, it focuses all on Benny Chen and how he kind of half-directed this movie, how he went on to films afterwards, the kind of production. Again, both terrific reads and another great extra to this package. So there we have it, number 23 in the Radiance lineup. A Moment of Romance was wonderful. Do yourself a favour, pick it up, and for 92 minutes just be awed by this film. Terrific. I really did enjoy it. As always, I would love to know your thoughts on this film, so let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle, and why. Give other opinions so other viewers can get a little consensus of what this film is like. There is more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon, membership program and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.